What's going on, guys and girls? This video here, I'm going to talk about the top tools that I use constantly when it comes to the projects here on the mobile home. Now, I'm guessing for $300 you could get all of these tools, some name brand, but I'm just going to go ahead and say you probably have to do some shopping at Harbor Freight, or just buy some cheap used tools at like a consignment shop or a pawn shop, something like that. You might be able to get all these tools name brand, but I'm not 100% sure. So there's also going to be some tools that I leave out. It's just because I don't use them a lot. This is just for me personally what I've come across that I use. They're my go-to tools basically. So first things first is you want to have several carpenter pencils and several Sharpies. Can you use a regular pencil? Yeah, you can. But once you sharpen it, the tips are real brittle, especially when it comes to drawing lines across like lumber, or they might break, or you put them in your pocket and you sit on them. They're just not that durable for doing this kind of work. So you can always pick up these carpenter pencils, any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. You can actually, I think I actually bought 4 or 5 of these at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're like $1 a piece, maybe 50 cents a piece, and you can get a pack of 5 Sharpies for, I don't know, I think $4.99. I use them all the time. I constantly am grabbing for pencils and Sharpies. If nothing else, if I'm working, say, in the bathroom and I think of something that I need, I'll just jot a note down on the floor or write it on a piece of drywall or a piece of 2x4 or something. I just make notes, and Sharpies always come in handy. Next thing is PPE, personal protective equipment. You always want to get you a good pair of safety goggles and a box of disposable face masks. Now, this right here is certified, I believe, for like drywall dust, but it works for a lot of stuff. You can get like a box of 10 of these for like $15. And these are ATV goggles. And the only reason why I use ATV goggles is because they fit comfortably over top my glasses. Now, they don't really filter out a lot of fine dust, as you can see here, but it does allow my face to breathe and doesn't fog the goggles up. Also, if I end up doing some stuff outside, I can always change these lenses out for like a tinted lens, which is kind of handy. But those are ATV goggles. I just like them. They're from Scott's. I think these are like $50. And like I said, you can get a box of 10 of these for I think $10, maybe $20. I can't really remember the price. The next thing I'm sure everybody probably has is a tape measure. Now, when it comes to tape measures, the sky's the limit. They've got bells and whistles on them that I didn't even know about, 4 months ago. Now, this is just a cheap Work Pro tape that I don't know where it come from, but it serves me pretty well. And if I can get it to grab, so you can see, it's got all the measurements on the bottom, which is good for me because I'm not real good at reading a tape anyway. And you can get tapes that get a lot finer in your measurements. You can get them down to 16ths, 32nds, or just whatever you want. But tapes can usually go anywhere from 99 cents to, I want to say I've seen some for like $60 someplace. Okay, pry bars. You can never have too many pry bars unless they're all the same size. You want to have probably 2 or 3 different kind of pry bars. Nothing special. It's just the bigger ones give you more leverage. And you can pick up pry bars pretty cheap if you get them at Harbor Freight. And again, this is one of those tools you wouldn't think could get expensive, but they can. So, you want a knife, a good utility knife. They're invaluable. You're always finding stuff you need to cut or need to trim, or say if you cut a 2x4 and it's got a little splinter on it you want to get off, you can just trim it out. It cuts drywall, cuts carpet, all kinds of stuff. This is a extremely handy tool to have. And like I said, you can pick these up for a couple bucks. Now, I'm sure everybody probably has screwdrivers. Now, I don't go real crazy on screwdrivers for some fact that I use a lot of cordless drills and stuff. But you always want to have you a good flat head and a good Phillips head and a good square head. for those stupid trailer screws or those Robertson screws that are in older mobile homes. Couldn't find my square head screwdriver, but just pretend it's like right here someplace. But yeah, you want to get these. You can get gobs of flathead and Phillips screwdrivers for dirt cheap. Next thing is a pair of needle nose pliers and what I call dikes or cutters. Now these are good for cutting, wire, cutting, this is good for grabbing something, but if you need to cut some, a pair of these dikes are good, and your needle nose pliers invaluable for just unknown amount of uses. And again, you can get this stuff cheap. Now be careful when you do buy the cheap stuff. The tolerances of your tips, they won't squeeze together at the very end and grab stuff, so you have to kind of catch it down here. Now these are really old. These needle nose pliers are probably older than I am. That's why they're kind of wore out. But you get really good quality ones. They grab very, very well all the way up to the tip. Also, you want some grabbers. You want a couple good pairs of vice grips and a pair of channel locks. I'm assuming that's what these are, channel locks. Oh well, I don't know, they're grabbers. Give me a pair of adjustable grabbers. That's what I call them. You want to have a good set of these. Normally I have a pipe wrench too, but again, it's another one of those tools I can't find. You want to have a good pipe wrench for like doing plumbing, stuff like that. Again, this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but some of y'all not tool people. You don't really use your hands a whole lot. Maybe you're getting into doing something like this for the first time. So, vice grips are awesome. They can do everything. And again, you can get some cheap vice grips and other type of grabbers. Harbor Freight, but if you spend the money, get good vice grip, get good quality tools, one, they'll last a lot longer, and two, they just perform well. You want to get a couple kind of hammers. You all know I like hammers. I like beating stuff up. This is just your basic hammer. Nails, staples, whatever. Good for. This is a little small sledge. Both of these you can get them cheap, Harbor Freight. And normally I would have a rubber mallet, but I couldn't find it. Story of my life when it comes to my tools. Yeah, rubber mallet, a little sledge, and a basic hammer. Use them all the time. Now let's get to the electrical stuff. This right here is a current detector, is what I call it. Don't y'all like how I just come up with my own names for tools? Let's see if we can get the scientific name. This is an adjustable voltage detector, and what it does when you turn it on, okay, you get it close to an electrical source, it'll start going off. See? Wires. Bring it over here. And if you want, it's got that little tip. You stick it in there if you want to. I'll just get it next to it. But if that wasn't hot, it would do just that. Also, this right here is a outlet tester. When you hook up an outlet, if you're not 100% sure you did it right, you plug this in, they give you two orange lights for good, and it will also tell you if you did it wrong. As you can see here. Open ground, open neutral, open hot, hot ground reversed, hot, negative reverse, incorrect. So I think this was like $40 and this is like $10. So you gotta have these if you plan on playing with any type of electrical. And if you're not comfortable with electrical, just don't even mess with it. Hire an electrician. But if you are comfortable with doing electrical work, you need some wire trimmers. And what happens is these right here, you put your wire through here, squeeze the handle, and it pulls the insulation off of the wire. Leaves a nice little copper piece. Makes it easy to hook your outlets or your switches. You don't have to get out like your utility knife or try to trim back the insulation. That really sucks. You can get a good set of these, 10-15 bucks. The next thing are squares. You can never have enough squares. This right here is a speed square. It's for measuring and cutting like dimensional lumber. Say like if you got a 2x4, you can put it on the edge of the 2x4 and it lays flat, make your mark. Or say if it's a 2x6, or say if it was this board right here, this would be more like a 2x10, I guess. You can take your pencil, wherever it is, you know, make your mark and flip this over, make it match, make your other mark, bada bing, you got a straight line. Speed squares are awesome. Also, they're for like figuring out your like roof pitches and odd and end little stuff. I don't know none of that stuff. I just use it as a basic square. This is level, but it's got a ruler on it. You know, it comes with a little book. Teach you all kinds. This thing can do all kinds of stuff. It's like a little computer, handheld, one-piece metal, no moving part computer. It's awesome. Then you got your regular, you know, squares with your measurements. This goes like 8. This over here goes all the way to 10. And another thing about your speed squares, you can get these in all kinds of sizes. If you're working with just small dimensional lumber, something like this is fine. But if you're, you know, building walls and stuff, it's one tool I don't have that I want to get is the really big speed squares. Now, this right here is a multi-tool. You all have probably seen me use this a lot in my videos, cutting out floors, removing walls, taking out paneling, cutting nails, cutting staples, all kinds of stuff. The multi-tool is probably the best tool that I have. It's not best quality-wise. It's just, it saves me so much headache and grief all the time, because due to the blades, you can get up underneath. Say like if you got say this is actually nailed, say, to this cabinet. You know, it's easy to get the blade up underneath, cut the nails and go along. You know, you can do precision cutting for like plumbing that needs to come through the floor, or you can cut out nice squares and drywall. It's so invaluable. You can even use it for demolition, you know, cutting out paneling, cutting 2x4s in half. I mean, I've used it for God knows what. I mean, I've used it for so much stuff. And this tool, the electrical ones, you can pick them up for about $40, but where they get you are the blades. Now, you can spend just absorbent amounts of money on these blades. Now, you buy the DeWalt blades or the Milwaukee blades, you can spend $30 a blade. But this blade right here, I get this at a local hardware store. Imperial blades, made in the USA. This is a wood and nail blade. It's got like a titanium tip on it. This blade costs $16.99 a piece. The equivalent blade in a DeWalt or Milwaukee is like $35. And this blade works 3 times as hard and lasts 3 times as long as the DeWalt blades do. Even when it comes into cutting nails, I've cut nails. I don't know how many nails I've cut. You can see it's almost dull. But I'm always finding myself going back to these blades because the name brand stuff just doesn't last that I have found yet. And so yeah, get the tool, but just be mindful. You know, you're going to have to dish out some cash on these blades. It don't take no time to blow $100 on these blades. So now my next tool here is a cordless drill. If you want to go and blow your whole wad on a cordless DeWalt, by all means, feel free. Get you a fancy impact, which the impacts are awesome, but they are expensive. For a DeWalt impact, I'm assuming you'll, spend $100 on it, or maybe you only spend $50. But I guarantee you, by the time you're done buying everything you need to run that DeWalt, you're going to be over $100. Because what they get you is having to buy the charger and the batteries. The charger, I'm just going on a limb here, saying it's going to be about $50. The batteries are probably going to be like $30 a piece. And you just can't have one. I guess you could, but it's always good to have one charger and one that you can use. So by the time you buy some of the name brand stuff, you're going to be out a little bit of money on these drills. This drill cost me $29.99 before taxes. Came with a charger and 2 20-volt lithium batteries. I use the crap out of this thing. I've left it out in the rain. I've had it covered in mud, and it's never let me down. Granted, I might have to charge the batteries a little bit more than some of the name brand stuff, but have no complaints about this drill right here. You can pick them up Walmart, Lowe's, wherever they sell them, or Black & Decker. And the other thing you have to have, and no, I didn't buy it just because it was DeWalt. It was just the first one I seen that had what I needed. I got this at Tractor Supply also. Is a bit, I call them bit boxes, because you need plenty of these bits here. See that little square head for those stupid trailer screws, those Robertson head screws? You got to have that. This whole thing here cost me like $20, I think, but I would have paid $20 just for one or two of these, for those stupid Robertson screws. And it comes with a bunch of different other stuff I've never even touched before. It just kind of fell out, and it's got some shorter versions of for the Robertson screw, and it's got the little extension where you can put these little ones in it. Gotta have this. Got to. Now, would I recommend buying like the cheap ones from like Harbor Freight? No, because the metal is just not as strong, and they just don't hold up as long as something like a good DeWalt does. So there's that. Now, the other thing that you want to have multiples of in all kinds of sizes is a good level. You use levels all the time when it comes to building stuff. 6-inch level, 10-inch level, 12-inch level, 4-foot level, 6-foot level. I mean, I've probably got 4 or 5 different size levels. I use them all, and levels can get kind of high, you know. I've seen some levels $100. So, you know, but really all it is just a bubble. So yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy on levels. You can get them made out of anodized aluminum. I've got a really old one that was my dad's that's made out of wood with still has the water bubble in it. You can just get ridiculous with levels, but again, that's another tool that is totally irreplaceable that you gotta have. So there you go, folks. That's off really the top of my head, the tools that I would recommend anybody getting into renovating a trailer is a must-have. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that just kind of sticks out, but I don't see why you can't buy all this stuff here for under $300. I'm sure you can get really stupid cheap. Go to Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's got some decent stuff. You just gotta look for it. But yeah, so anyways, if y'all can think of anything else, leave it in the comments below. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and if I find something I think I can make a video on, I'll do a video reply on your question. So with that said, I'll see you guys later.